Well, first of all, thank you for organizing this. Thank you all for the work that you've already done. I've been privy to some of the activities you all have been engaged in over the last couple years now, and I'm really impressed and inspired by the work that you all are doing to bring some of these ideas to your communities and to have some of these conversations across race and culture and ethnicity. But yeah, so like Zane said, my name's Quinton with the Move Generation. Uh, we operate as a collective, so that means that we share work and decision-making responsibilities, and then we all have programmatic areas that we kind of, lead or co-lead. And the two that I'm most engaged in are the Earth Skills Training Program and our Permaculture for the People course, which I'll talk a little bit more about this evening.
When we watched the event that Movement Generation put on earlier this year, one quote that really stuck out for people on this call was one that you brought when you were moderating. The global liberation of black people is fundamental to the preservation of life on this earth in the presence of climate chaos. Yeah, so I was remembering that and wondering if you wanted to just start there and give a little bit of context about that quote and how you hold that as a segue into the work that you're doing on the ground right now.
Cool. Yeah, I can start there. So for me, when I say that, I really think about this moment in a couple of different ways. Obviously, I identify as a person of African ancestry, and so for me, when I think about what's happening globally, we're really in the presence of what we refer to as a sixth massive species extinction. So there's been species that have come and gone in large numbers throughout the history of life on Earth, and there's been five distinct mass species extinctions, and what we're in right now is the sixth. And the one that what makes this different from the ones that have come before is that this one is it stands to first of all be the most complete one, and by that I mean the one that experiences the largest number of species that go extinct. It also stands to be the fastest, the most complete, and it also is the one that is only caused by a single species, and that species is us. And so when I really think about this moment in time, what we're really up against is the existence of our species on this planet. That's what it boils down to. Climate change is one of those issues that gets a lot of attention, but the way we unpack it, we see this problem at Movement Generation as a problem around biological and cultural diversity and the erosion of that. So there's a lot of different species on this planet, and the way that we all interact with one another creates this web of life. And through the extractive economy, not just climate change, not just the changing of the temperatures in the atmosphere or the acidification of the ocean, but also through like deforestation and displacement of people and animals, species are going extinct at a rapid pace. So for us, and we're the ones causing that. So we could get into a situation where what actually leads to collapse for us is the loss of other life forms, not necessarily the chaos of climate change, which will play out over millennia, but it could actually be that we lose keystone species, and that's what really threatens the life on our Earth. Not that climate change isn't an issue for sure, but there's a rapid threat to the biological diversity on Earth, which is what supports, our web, all these various interactions that we really can't comprehend as an individual species. Is that really big, complex web of life? And right now, we're losing a lot of keystone species, like honeybees, for example. Some people are familiar with that pollinate a lot of the food that we eat. There's these things called bioregional hotspots, where climate change and the things that are happening with water, for example, and the privatization of water, the pollution of water, that fuels wars as well, or conflicts. for example, what's happening in East Africa around the drought and the scarcity of water is really fueling a lot of conflicts that are displacing people, that are leading to a lot of the violence that folks see. And it appears that it's, what appears in media is that these are conflicts of, political ideologies or cultural differences, but really at the root of it is a resource question, and that resource in East Africa is around water. And another one of those hot spots is in Central Africa, around the Democratic Republic of the Congo, where there's a resource war happening there, but also massive displacement.